guy deep. Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket, 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Jonathan Taylor will be in Indianapolis Colts, theoretically, through the next 2 seasons. That is your big news today in the world of the Indianapolis Colts. They are not at practice right now because they've got a night practice tonight during the Hall of Fame game. Do the Colts not care about Adam Vinatieri? I don't know. That's a joke. Welcome into the real Jonathan Smith Show here on Indy Sports Ticket. Thanks for tuning in. No matter how you're tuning in, whether that's YouTube, Indy Sports Ticket, if you want to head over there and subscribe. You can also watch the show on X__Jonathan Smith to follow me there and watch the show there. You can also listen on the Indy Sports Ticket app or 1430 AM if you're driving around the Indianapolis area. So 317-228-1430, that's the phone number if you want to call in or text your thoughts on the new Jonathan Taylor contract. It is a 2-year extension worth up to $47 million if he, checks all the boxes on his bonuses. $39 million guaranteed. He is now the second highest paid running back in the NFL behind Bijan Robinson. He is soon to be the third highest paid running back in the NFL behind Jahmyr Gibbs as well, who will pass him as soon as he signs his extension. This contract breaks a record. This is the most amount of money a running back has ever gotten on a third contract. So congratulations to Jonathan Taylor from that perspective. This is also one of the largest running back contracts in NFL history, period. So congratulations to him. He did his job, providing for his family, doing all of those things. And the Colts kind of put themselves into a weird spot because it's Chris Ballard's final year in his contract. Shane Steichen has been here for 3 years now. They are yet to make the playoffs. They have a record of 25-26 under Shane Steichen. They both have to win this season. This is a franchise that hasn't been to the playoffs in 6 years. This is a new ownership group that wants to establish winning ways quickly. So they kind of backed themselves into a corner a little bit. And they decide to sign Jonathan Taylor to this extension. And all those things considered, I don't think that they did a bad job. I think it's really difficult to pay your running back a large sum of money and make the playoffs. It's a hard thing to do. Maybe the Colts can figure out a way to do it this year, but when you look at the Falcons, Bijan Robinson's been the best running back in the NFL, I think, for the past couple of years now. They have 0 playoff appearances to show for it. Jonathan Taylor has been, at a minimum, one of the 5 best running backs in the NFL since he showed up in the league. And the Colts have 1 playoff appearance to show for it. They have 1 playoff win to show for it. And I would argue that was more of a Phillip Rivers thing than a Jonathan Taylor thing. Okay, Jonathan Taylor, obviously important in that, but I'm always going to have a hard time with wanting to pay running backs large sums of money. But I will say for the Indianapolis Colts, the fact that it's only a 2-year deal, I think, is a win for them because Jonathan Taylor, again, this is his 3rd contract. He's going to be 27 years old this season. I know that Derrick Henry is currently defying the odds on old running backs, but Derrick Henry is also bigger than most linebackers in the NFL. Bigger guys have a tendency to be able to take a little more punishment, a few more hits. That's why big-bodied quarterbacks like Tom Brady, that's why he lasted in the NFL so long. Bigger bodies just seem to last longer in these ultra-physical sports. And Jonathan Taylor, not small by normal person standards, but by NFL standards, not the biggest guy, 5'10", 220. So if he holds up, I think this is a good contract. But if he doesn't, then it's not going to be. If he doesn't hold up, then it'll be, this is what you get for paying a 27-year-old aging running back. He got hurt. What a surprise. 3rd contract. Shouldn't have done it. But the Colts kind of have to because of where they're at with this regime, with Chris Ballard and with Shane Steichen. And the one thing that I do like about this extension is if there's a regime change, you can trade him. You'll be able to trade him. This is the final year of his current deal, and then the new one starts. You'll be able to trade him. Whoever has him will have him for 2 years. Makes it, it gives them a little more value knowing that they'll have control of Jonathan Taylor longer. I know he wants to retire as a Colt. I think that if the Colts don't make the playoffs this year, I have a hard time believing that happens because the new regime is going to come in, clean house, and we'll kind of see how things go from there. So the Jonathan Taylor contract extension is done. You kind of figured it would get done considering that Jonathan Taylor wasn't holding out or holding in or anything like he did a few years ago. Now there's really one guy that I think they'll absolutely get some sort of a contract extension done with here soon, and that guy is Quentin Nelson. He's the other guy that's up. I know DeForest Buckner's up for an extension as well. No way he gets one. I would be very surprised if the Colts decided to pull the trigger on an aging defensive tackle that has neck and back problems. Whereas Quentin Nelson, that's a guy who's been incredibly healthy throughout the majority of his career. He's one of the best interior offensive linemen in the NFL as well. I think he's the next guy to get paid by the Indianapolis Colts this offseason. We'll see how much it goes for. But Jonathan Taylor, congratulations, man. Chris, what did you make of the signing?
I mean, overall, I'm not really surprised.
No.
It's one of the best backs in the league, and the Colts made a smart decision. It's doesn't sound overly long term or anything like that. The Colts are just making a statement saying, "Hey, our team still starts with number 28, and we believe in him enough to give him the contract." Oh, and plus, fantasy football owners definitely going after Jonathan Taylor this year. He's going to get a lot of work, especially if Daniel Jones can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I think you said in that response there exactly what's been wrong with the Colts for the past few years. So the team starts with 28. Not a good sign.
I get it.
The best teams in the NFL start with a quarterback, and that's not his fault, obviously. That's a Ballard thing. That's a much bigger issue. But, the Colts kept a good player, and it's hard to be upset at them for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Anybody in the league would probably be like, yeah, that was a good move. Solid,
Yeah.
Lock it down.
They have to do it. Like, they don't really have a choice.
Could you imagine the mess if they didn't reach an agreement or if he just held out and then that's one big dumpster fire on top of another one? So, let's contain the dumpster fires.
Seriously. Because you're right. That's what it would have been. You would have gotten this huge reaction to not bringing him back. And so I'm very kind of intrigued to kind of see how he performs this year. I think he's a good player, but he is an aging running back, and we'll see how it goes from there. So,
good enough to be the second highest paid running back, though.
For now, he'll be the third highest paid once Gibbs gets paid, which is probably fair. He's probably the third best running back in football right now. I do think behind Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, but look, man, there are guys who don't live up to their contracts all the time in the NFL and in sports in general. And it tends to be guys on the final time that they get paid, because I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to get another contract like this just as he gets older. And look, I think Bill Belichick's the best head coach ever. One of the things that he and the New England Patriots were really good at doing is not holding on to guys for too long. And I think it's okay, to let a guy walk and not pay them when there's not that much juice left in the orange. Because, I'm sure Jonathan Taylor has some juice left. I'm sure he's going to be really good this year. He looks like he's coming to camp in shape. It looks like he's done the work that he needs to in the offseason. But at some point, you just kind of age out of things. And just from what I've seen and witnessed in sports, it's usually not graceful. Let's take Peyton Manning. One year, he's setting the NFL record for touchdown passes in the season in Denver. And the next year, he's fighting for his job with Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
And so, and I think running backs a really similar thing. Like we go and we look at a guy like Todd Gurley. Now, to be fair to Jonathan Taylor, never had any significant surgeries like Todd Gurley did. He had one coming out of Georgia, and I believe he got hurt in the NFL as well, if I remember that correctly. And so, like, his fall off was pretty immediate. You could tell pretty quickly. And so, will the fall off of Jonathan Taylor happen this year? Probably not, because 27 still isn't that old. Has he taken a lot of hits? Sure. Maybe he gets hurt. But when he plays, I think he looks good. My question is, when this money kicks in, so starting not this season but next and the year after, is that when we kind of see his production start to temper off a bit?
I would assume so. I don't see him leading the league every single year in yards, like, or being in the top 5 um, 2 years from now. But he's definitely going to be top 5 this year, I think.
Here's what I think's a better question. So he had to be arguably the best running back in football last year in order for them to have a slimmering chance at making the playoffs. Okay, I understand that, look, they were 8-4 when Daniel Jones got hurt. Okay, and so because I think people just remember the awesome start. Again, people don't remember those last few games. But anyway, can he be a running back who rushes for 1,500 yards and leads the league in rushing touchdowns again? Because, like, that's what he has to be for them to be a playoff team. Like, what are the chances he does that 2 years in a row? Because when we go back and we look at it, 2021, he has the big year, 1,800 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, runs for over 100 first downs. He was the best running back in football that year. But then the following year, after carrying the football 332 times, he only played in 11 games. And last year, he ran the football 323 times. Can his body do that 2 years in a row? I think that's quite a bit to ask of him, especially as he's gotten older and all these hits have piled up. I mean, the dude's got over 1,500 carries in his career. I'm just not convinced his body holds up 2 years in a row. That's my biggest concern with this extension.
I would agree with that. And a lot of that production is going to be heavily based on the health of Daniel Jones, to be honest. If he's healthy most of the season, then I think his JT's production will be steady. But if DJ goes down, then there's going to be more work for him, because how else are we going to move the ball? I mean, I don't trust Riley Leonard or Anthony Richardson to put up the numbers that Daniel Jones should be putting up. So a lot of what you're going to see from Jonathan Taylor depends on what happens at the quarterback spot.
It does. And to go back to what you said earlier, the fact that the Colts start with number 28 and everything that happens to him is dependent on someone the team apparently doesn't start with. That's a little concerning for me.
Yeah, if he goes down, we're in trouble, though.
Taylor?
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, Seth McGowan's going to be incredible. Every time people talk about him, it's nothing but, rainbows and flowers and all of those things. But we are going to talk a little bit more about him today. Colts preseason, their first game is next week on Thursday. People have sent me a clip from Purdue's new AD speaking. We'll get to that at some point. We'll see what he says. But Colts preseason starts next week on Thursday. We'll talk about that a little bit throughout the show today. We're going to talk special teams, because I think that's an area of this Indianapolis Colts roster that is going to be incredibly important this year. And then, we're going to do some overrated, underrated things in the NFL and college football for these upcoming seasons. And then I have to talk about Pete Crow Armstrong and the fact that, like, that guy should be the National League MVP. What he's done is incredible. Cubs finished the sweeping of the Dodgers yesterday. That makes me incredibly happy. So a lot of football. We're going to sprinkle in some baseball for you as well today on what's going to be an awesome show. We'll talk Purdue's new athletic director as well. And we'll have that audio for you in 3 minutes.
favorites in today's sports world. It's here. The real Jonathan Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Purdue's athletic director is he's an interesting cat.
He's special.
I like him, man. He oh man, he let it rip this morning. Oh my gosh, welcome into the real Jonathan Smith Show here on Indy's Sports Ticket. We got to play it, man. Here is what's his name? This is something we probably should have been talking about earlier in the week. I know he's coming over from Rice. Tommy McLeland, Purdue's new athletic director, was previously the athletic director at Rice, going to be in charge of fundraising and raising the NIL budgets up there. He came out firing shots, and I like it. Here is Purdue's new athletic director, Tommy McLeland, talking about what to do if you want to win championships.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Jeez. Right off the bat.
I love it, man.
Wasted no time.
This is great. I'm glad that he said that, because if you've ever been to Purdue, there is this constant little brother mentality that they're the other school in Indiana. Is that true? Yes, they are the other school in Indiana. But if you behave that way, then you just kind of always wind up in second place. Now, is it dumb to say that if you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana after they just won the national title in football? Probably not. But at the same time, I would like to reflect on Coach Signetti and what he said at the basketball game that he was at when they brought him down onto the court at halftime. And he said, Michigan sucks. Michigan had just won a national title. And then he said, Ohio State sucks. Meanwhile, Ohio State had been running the Big Ten for years in football. And then he said, Purdue sucks. And everyone was like, yeah, that's true. And then, and Indiana fans were like, yeah, I like this guy. And I think that if you're a Purdue fan, you got a guy who obviously now has to back up everything that he said. But I appreciate having the balls, for a lesser term, to be able to go up there and say something like that in your debut. Because ultimately you're taking over an athletic department that, look, every athletic department it's about football. Like, that is ultimately what it's about. Football tends to pay for everything else. Basketball usually just pays for itself. Okay, and so you're taking over an athletic department where the basketball program is in great shape. Coach Painter's never going anywhere. So you don't have to worry about that. The thing that you have to worry about is football and getting this team that went 2-10 last year to turn it around. We'll see. Purdue had their first fall practice today. Or training camp, whatever they call it in college sports now, today. And so, look, they're going to have to fundraise a lot of money to turn that around. But, I mean, I like it. I'm glad he said it, man. Let's get the rivalry going. So, Chris, you didn't like it, though? What'd you think?
No, that was good. That's humorous. I mean, if you're going to make a statement, might as well make it right out the gate.
That's right, man. I like it. It's probably a dumb thing to say.
Right.
Probably going to live to regret saying that.
You got to acknowledge and respect the boldness, though.
Yes. You have to respect the boldness of it, the same way that, I kind of liked it when Coach Signetti went out on the middle of the floor and said that everybody sucks. Right? Like, if you don't if you don't expect to win, you're not going to win. It's just it's not going to happen. So, we'll see how it goes. Great stuff there from Purdue's AD. Now, Indiana's going to win the national title this year, and you're going to see that clip everywhere. Oh, man, that's awesome.
It's going to be like remixes of it and everything.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to see that thing all over the place. So, great stuff from Purdue's new AD, Tommy McLeland. So, the Indianapolis Colts start their preseason games in 1 week. They have their first joint practice on Tuesday against the New England Patriots in Boston. I am intrigued to see how they approach distributing reps in these games. You know, how much is Daniel Jones going to play? How much of Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor and like the guys that we absolutely know are going to be first teamers? How much of them are we going to see? Okay, now there are a few players that I think we're going to see a lot of. Okay, that wide receiver 3 spot still doesn't have a solution. We're going to see a lot of Nick Westbrook-Akina, Ashton Doolin, and Laquan Treadwell in the preseason. Those are 3 guys contending for that spot until the Colts sign Keenan Allen, if that ends up happening. They're all 3 going to get an ample amount of opportunities in this preseason. I'm sure that'll be part of the evaluation of who wins that job. They're absolutely, getting a good look at them right now in camp because they're going up against, Mooney Ward and Sauce Gardner and Justin Wally. So, like, they're not going to play corners better than that in the preseason. But seeing guys in live game action is important. You only get that in the preseason when it comes to evaluating guys. So I think Ashton Doolin is really going to pop in these preseason games. I think he's going to separate himself from the other 2 guys. I think he's the best player in that group with his size and speed. You can trust him as well because we saw the Colts trust him with A.D. Mitchell's reps last year when A.D. Mitchell got himself in the doghouse. So I think Doolin's the guy unless they trade for Keenan Allen, which is certainly a possibility just based on all of the reports that we've seen. We're going to see a lot of DJ Giddens and Seth McGowan as well. The preseason reps for those 2 guys, I think, are probably going to mean more than any other positions because they're going to get live pass protection reps. I still think that whoever does that better is going to win the job. They just paid Jonathan Taylor a lot of money. They're not paying Jonathan Taylor, the second highest paid running back in the NFL, off the field to hand the ball to DJ Giddens or Seth McGowan. It's not going to happen. The Colts are going to take Jonathan Taylor off the field on 3rd and 8 when everyone knows that they're throwing the football so that Jonathan Taylor doesn't have to step up and hit that linebacker that's coming screaming through the A-gap. Okay? They don't want him doing that. That's what Seth McGowan and DJ Giddens are going to be used for. Now, it seems like through camp, Seth McGowan has shown a little bit more as a runner. That's great. There's a likelihood that Jonathan Taylor's going to miss a couple games because running backs take a lot of hits, and if you take a lot of hits, you're more likely to get hurt. In a 6-year career, Jonathan Taylor has only played in all 17 games twice, last year and in 2021. And as we went over earlier, in 2021, when he played in all 17 games and had over 300 carries, the following year he only played 11 games. Last year, played in all 17, had over 300 carries. He's older now. There's a decent chance he's going to miss some time. And in the couple games that Jonathan Taylor potentially misses this season, we'll get to see McGowan tote the rock a little bit. But when Jonathan Taylor is available, he's getting every carry. You don't pay a guy that much money to not give him every carry. So I think whoever protects the quarterback better between McGowan and Giddens is going to play more this year. And it's easiest to see that in live game environments because, yes, like they'll do live on live and they'll do full tackling and things, but like within practice, you're blowing things dead early. You're trying to keep players protected. Whereas in preseason games, that is just not as big of an emphasis because it's a real game. So McGowan and Giddens, I think we see a ton during the preseason, but those pass protection snaps are going to be the most important thing for them. I'm also excited to see all of the tight ends that they decide to run out there. Yeah, you got me. That was good. You're right. Didn't even think that one through.
We know you like the tight ends, Jonathan.
Hey, are you saying you don't like tight ends?
I do.
I was gonna say. I mean, I would hope. Or I don't know. I guess some people don't like tight ends. And hey, good for them.
Anyway,
they're more of like a running back guy. Good for you. Anyway, Tyler Warren shouldn't play very much this year. I think the Colts are going to have to play in a lot more 2 tight end sets this year so that they don't have 3 receivers on the field as often. Reps are going to be won at that position in these preseason games. Here's my biggest hope. My biggest hope is that Will Mallory developed into a decent blocker over the offseason. That would do so much for this Colts offense. Because Tyler Warren is hands down their best tight end. Okay, he's their best pass-catching tight end, and he's a good blocker. Okay, he's absolutely tight end number 1. Will Mallory is their second best pass-catching tight end. The problem is I don't think he could block me. I don't think he could block Chris. I don't think he could block you. If he can just turn into a capable, average, run-of-the-mill blocking tight end that you could put on the field with Warren, that would be so big for the Colts. Because I think Will Mallory is as good of a receiver as Ashton Dueling and Nick Westbrook-Akina and Laquan Treadwell. The problem is if you play tight end, like you have to be able to block. You have to be a threat to throw some blocks, and he's just not. He is a matchup problem whenever he's allowed to run routes. Okay, but the Colts can't play him on early downs because he's not a good blocker, and that means whenever he comes in, like, it's an immediate tell. It's okay, like, they're probably going to throw it here because Will Mallory is on the field. If he can fix that, again, like, I'm not asking him to turn into, like, George Kittle as a blocker. I'm not asking him to be Trey McBride or anything like that. Like, can he just be Travis Kelce in terms of his ability to block? Because if he can do that, then I really like the Colts rolling out Tyler Warren, Will Mallory, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce. I think that is a really I think that's a good group of 5 when it comes to position players. So I'm hopeful on it. We'll see what he looks like. He's the guy that I'm most intrigued by when it comes to Colts preseason games this season. We're getting all these quote tweets now with Purdue's new athletic director, with all these people saying, why would you say this when he says if you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana? I liked it. I'm all for it, man. Oh man, I love it, dude. Like, again, I can't remember if people were fans of Coach Cignetti saying that Michigan and Ohio State suck when he got hired. I need to go back and find the original video on that and figure out what the reaction was, because I want to say that people liked it, but I don't fully remember what the reaction was. And look, I get it. Like, there's a difference between your head football coach saying it and your athletic director saying it. But I don't know, man. I like it. I like having some swagger. I like throwing down the gauntlet a little bit when you first show up. So we'll see. Going to be an interesting few years of Purdue football and the rest of their sports, I guess, with this new AD. So, yeah, well, can you play it again? It's so funny. I love that clip so much.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
That had to have been a mistake. Like, he didn't mean to say that.
Yes, he did.
There's
no way he meant anything else. There's no way he meant anything else.
He meant like ISU or something.
Oh, man. Go to Indiana. Just fresh off a national title. Oh, man. That's so funny, man. I hope the best for him, man. I really do. He's I hope the best for him. I hope it works out. I like him.
Yeah, it's not so much. I don't think it's as much of a support of what he said. It's just the boldness of it. Like, man, dude is brave.
Yeah,
Like you
I
got
like it though, man.
you,
Like
you gotta respect the boldness
you
in that.
do. He's certainly made a statement, and a lot of people are not going to like it. But look, like if Purdue wins the national title in college basketball this year, I don't know. I think that I think people will feel pretty good about him after that. He won't get the credit because Coach Painter's already been here, but if Purdue goes 8-4 in football this year, like I don't know, I'll be like, hey man, that's a championship for Purdue football. That's a good place to be. Oh man, I love that he said that. I think that's awesome. I do, man. I think it's great,
You're so tickled.
dude. I just like, cause seriously, have you ever been to a Purdue football game?
No.
Every kickoff, no matter who they're playing against, every time the ball is kicked off, they say the same thing. They say IU sucks,
Okay.
and I get it. It's a tradition thing. It's a rivalry thing. It just feels so little brothery to me. And I don't know how you ever move up in the world if you're constantly comparing yourself to one school. And I get it, like it's a rivalry thing. But when you talk about winning championships and those kinds of things, you're no longer comparing yourself to only one other school. You're comparing yourself to everybody else. And look, I get it. Everyone's gonna, clown on Purdue, but look, like they were in the Big Ten title game in football 4 years ago. I think that's right. And so, like, this is a school that's capable of putting together a winning football program. It's a school that's obviously capable of putting together a winning basketball program as well. I believe that their volleyball team, which I know no one cares about volleyball, has taken some steps, has taken some really nice steps in the right direction. And so, I like it, man. Like, come out, make a statement, and see where it goes from there. So we'll see, man. I'm all about it. Let's get the rivalry juices flowing. It's going to be great. So I like that more than I like what Kyle Whittingham had to say about Ohio State, where he was like, yeah, like I don't think we should hate Ohio State. They're just another team on our schedule. Because like one of the things that makes college sports awesome and great and unique are these rivalries. And look, I think that if you're an IU fan, like you want to know that the sports people at IU don't like Purdue. And I think that if you're a Purdue fan, you want to know that Barry Odom and everyone else behind Purdue football and Coach Painter and everybody behind Purdue basketball, like you want to think or know that everybody over there hates IU as well. And so I like it. Doesn't seem like anybody else does, but that's okay.
I guess I never noticed the tension between IU and Purdue like that before. I mean, a little bit, but to be honest, I saw more of it when I lived in like Tulsa, right? Like between Oklahoma and Texas, right? Like they really do not like each other. That seemed more tense than the IU and Purdue thing. But maybe I just didn't pay enough attention to it.
It is more tense. It is more tense because Oklahoma sees themselves as an equal to Texas. I don't think Purdue sees themselves as an equal to IU with the way that they go about some things. And look, if this is an AD that changes that, then I would argue that's a success already. So we'll see, man. I like it, man. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's maybe it doesn't get any better, but to his credit, like he did a really good job at Rice fundraising and those things, and that's what being an athletic director is about now. So if he can find a way to get all these engineers that left Purdue to send some money back, then we'll see what happens with them from there. So, good stuff from him, man. Great stuff from him, I would actually say. Great stuff from the Colts special teams unit last year as well. Special teams is, of the three phases of football, the one that's forgotten the most and then also criticized the most whenever a kicker misses. So I think special teams for the Colts this year is going to be incredibly important. Like there are certain teams in the NFL that can get away with not being great on special teams, and there are other teams that can't. I think the Colts are one of those teams that can't get away with not being great on special teams. I'll tell you why in 3 minutes.
It may, one day, be a must-listen for sports enthusiasts.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
The Real Jonathan Smith Show. On Indy Sports Ticket 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Purdue's athletic director making headlines today. Saying if you don't want to win national championships, go to IU. Look, man, he's just getting in the spirit of the rivalry. People need to calm down. It's not the end of the world, I promise. What is the end of the world? Nothing. I don't know. Is anything bad going on, Chris? I don't think there is. It's a beautiful day. There's no like wars or anything. There's no parasites.
I mean, there's
anything going on.
There's some of that, and there's some of that too.
What?
There's always some of that. Though. That's pretty consistent.
Fake news, I say. Okay.
Yeah, fake news. Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Real Jonathan Smith Show here on Indy's Sports Ticket, where we like what the Purdue athletic director had to say. Throw down the gauntlet. Let's go. It's awesome. One of my favorite stats in the history of football is what happened in 2010 to, at the time, the San Diego Chargers. Chris, do you know what amazing feat the San Diego Chargers accomplished in 2010?
I do not. But the best thing they ever done was have Darren Sproles on their team.
Okay.
Greatest player of all
I
time.
thought you were going to say the best thing you've ever done, and I did not know what you were about to say.
Sorry.
I don't know. I was like, is he going to talk about relationships again? Like, I don't know. What is he like? I don't have a dump button over here. What is he about to say? In 2010, the San Diego Chargers and Colts legend Phillip Rivers led the NFL in offense and defense. They had the number one offense in the NFL. They had the number one defense in the NFL. They were humming on both sides of the football. But they failed to make the playoffs that year because they were last in special teams. That's just insane. It's one of my favorite statistical anomalies maybe ever. And special teams are incredibly important. The Colts were one of the best special teams, or the Colts had one of the best special teams units in the NFL last year. They were second in average net punt yards last year. So that is punt distance minus the return. They were second in field goal percentage. When they lined it up to kick a field goal, they didn't really miss. They made 95% of their field goal attempts last year. When they were kicking the football, they were pretty good. When they were returning the football, they were all right. They were 11th in opponent net punt yards. So, they were okay returning the football. They were second in kick return yards on average, and they were 13th in kickoff return yards allowed. Okay, this is something that has to continue for the Indianapolis Colts this season. I don't think that they're going to overwhelm anyone with their roster talent the way that teams like the Ravens and the Rams and the Seahawks or the Eagles are going to do to teams this year. The Colts are going to need everything to go their way against some of the better teams on their schedule, and special teams is one of those areas where they can make up for a lack of not having a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes. A way for them to make up for not having the weapons of the Eagles or whoever they end up playing. I thought that last year the Seahawks laid out a nice blueprint on how to win games when you don't have an elite quarterback. I like Sam Darnold. I know he just won a Super Bowl, but he's not one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's not an elite quarterback. He's in that Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence tier where he can occasionally carry the offense, but he needs a good run game. He needs a good defense if you're going to win games. I think Daniel Jones is a tier below that, but he has the potential to be in that tier. A large part of why the Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year is because they were great on special teams. Raheed Shaheed was traded from the Saints to the Seahawks, and when he arrived in Seattle, he immediately made the Seahawks better because they brought explosiveness, or he brought explosiveness to their special teams. He returned punts for touchdowns in the playoffs, if I remember that correctly. Okay, the Colts do a good job of covering punts and kicks, but they need to do a better job in the return game. When was the last time the Colts had an explosive returner? Is it Nyheim Hines?
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, the guy who never had a kickoff return for a touchdown during his time with the Colts. That's a cherry pick stat. To be fair, he returned two punts for a touchdown in 2019.
He did okay in Buffalo too, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Hey, you can do whatever you want in Buffalo. I don't care what you do in Buffalo. You got to do it here for it to matter. The Colts have never really had a great returner. Like, I would argue Nyheim Hines was somewhere between like solid and good. I wouldn't call him great. Like, I don't think he's as good as Shaheed is in Seattle. The best kickoff return season the Colts have ever had. Chris, would you like to guess? The best kickoff return season in the history of the Indianapolis Colts. If you get this, I'll be stunned.
2006.
No. It was Lenny Lyles. Do you know who Lenny Lyles is?
I do not.
He played in 1958.
Okay.
He had 11 kickoff
That was
returns.
way off.
2 of them resulted in touchdowns. He averaged 36 yards per return. Okay, Naeem Hines, to his credit, probably had the best punt returning season in Colts history in 2019. Two touchdowns, averaged about 31 yards per return. That's a really good season. That was also 7 years ago. When the Colts drafted Deion Burks in the 7th round, people thought about him as someone who could potentially compete for that third wide receiver spot. Okay? And, look, he's a 7th round pick. I didn't think that was going to be the case. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be one of Nick Westbrook-Akina or Ashton Doolin. I don't think Treadwell is going to win that job. But anyway, a Keenan Allen trade is picking up some steam as well. We'll see if that happens or not. But Deion Burks, when the Colts took him in the 7th round out of Oklahoma, excites me as a guy who could change games for the Colts in the return game. He returned kicks his sophomore year at Purdue. Didn't return any kicks or punts during his 2 years at Oklahoma. I think he projects as a guy who could be explosive in that area. He's a receiver, so you would assume that he has the hands that you need to not muff punts. What's up, Chris? You got this devilish look on your face.
Curious about a bell.
What?
It's explosive in some areas.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Every time I say that, it just speaks to where our minds are. Whenever I say that, I think about the parasite. That's what I think about.
It went off in my head, and it was like, should you press the button? I don't know.
That's funny. No, whenever I say explosive in some areas, I think about the parasite just wreaking havoc in Michigan still.
Yeah, brutal.
Shout out lettuce. Poor vegans out there. They have to eat that terrible food and potentially deal with a parasite. Oh, man. If you were a vegan right now, would you just, take a break? Like, you know what? No lettuce or anything of that sort until that thing's gone.
Yeah, I would let it kind of blow over for a while before I go back to eating lettuce, I think.
Oh, man.
I know some of my friends, they're really big on eating salads, and they're like, no, I'm good for a while.
Oh, man.
It's like the Taco Bell thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm good.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, Deion Burks strikes me as a guy who could potentially change the game for the Colts in the return game. Again, he returned kickoffs his sophomore year at Purdue. Didn't return any kicks or punts during his 2 years at Oklahoma. But he projects as a guy who can maybe take that role over from Anthony Gould, who's been okay. Right? So Deion Burks is a receiver, so you would assume that he has the hands that you need to not muff punts. He has the speed, blazing fast. He's incredibly quick, and he's just a naturally explosive player who could potentially be a problem when he's returning the football. Is he going to be Raheed Shaheed in his rookie season? Probably not. Probably not. But if he can find a way to swing a couple games in the Colts' favor this year, that would be huge. The Colts, I think, have a lesser roster than a lot of the teams on their schedule, the teams that I think immediately come to mind and you can't really argue against: the Ravens, the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys. There's a couple other teams on their schedule as well who, might have a better roster than them. And I think that the easiest way to swing the game in your favor against teams that were better than you is on special teams. College football and the NFL are very different. But I think one place where they're very similar is in college football. When upsets happen, there is normally a big special teams play, right? There's a punt return for a touchdown. There's a big, there's a blocked punt. There's a big kickoff return that puts the underdog inside the 20. All that kind of stuff, right? Those are things that can drastically swing the game in your favor if you have the lesser quarterback, which I think the Colts have the lesser quarterback in a lot of the games on their schedule this year. If you don't have some great defense, and there's obviously questions for the Colts and their defensive line this year, if you have a lesser defense, then you're probably going to give up less points if your lesser defense is getting to is starting possessions when this is like word salad. It is easier to keep a team from scoring when they have to go 85 yards as opposed to 60 yards. That is a special teams thing. That's why turnovers are so important, because when turnovers happen, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, they give you good field position. Okay? Special teams for the Colts this year are going to be incredibly important. I'm hoping that Deion Burks can be the guy in the return game who can come in and provide some juice, right? Big fans of juice on this show. Hopefully Deion Burks is the guy to do that, because Anthony Gould, the fourth-round pick out of Oregon State, just hasn't, again, I don't think he's been bad, but I don't think he's been good either. So, yeah, I don't know.
Would you be okay with Brandon Ayuk coming to the team and returning punts and kickoffs? Is that the kind of
Brandon
juice?
Ayuk, yeah. No, I
That'd
don't
be
want him
okay?
coming. I'm good. I don't think he'd be willing to do that.
Probably not.
He would say, "Coach, this is my team now. These are we're going to play by my rules, and I'm not going to do that." That's what I'm expecting.
So you like the Purdue AD's boldness, but not Brandon Ayuk's potential boldness? If you
I
can't-
wouldn't. I would call what the AD said, what Purdue's new AD said. I would call that boldness. I would call what Brandon Ayuk has going on teetering on the edge of like mental illness. That's
Fair
what
enough.
That's what I would call it. I
Perfect.
think there's a
perfectly said.
huge difference between those two things.
Well said.
So, oh man, all right, fun show. First hour flying by. Shout out to Purdue's AD for giving us a lot of content. Speaking of content, I'm just we're throwing out takes today. That's what I'm doing. Okay, Jonathan Taylor, glad that he's going to be a Colt for a little while longer. But there are some storylines in the NFL that I think are overrated, and there are some teams going into the season that I think are incredibly underrated. So I've got 3 overrated things and 3 underrated things in the world of NFL football. I'll tell you what they are at 1 o'clock. But first, Chris has your sports update.
Thanks, Jonathan. Here's a few stories. Well, I don't know where that came from. A few stories trending this hour. Jonathan Taylor got his bag this morning as the Colts gave the 3-time Pro Bowler a 2-year, $44 million extension worth up to $47 million. That includes $39 million guaranteed per Adam Schefter. So congrats to him. NFL preseason officially kicks off tonight with the Panthers and Cardinals playing in the Hall of Fame game over in Canton, Ohio. You can find that on NBC and Peacock starting at 8 o'clock. The first game of a back-to-back for the Indiana Fever happens tonight against the Las Vegas Aces. 7 p.m. tip at Cambridge Fieldhouse, and you can watch that one on Amazon Prime Video. Kelsey Mitchell scores 20 tonight. She'll tie the Aces star Asia Wilson's single-season record of 15 consecutive games of 20 points or more. Caitlin Clark still remains 1 technical foul away from a 1-game suspension, so we'll keep an eye on that. That's what's trending this hour. More of the Real Jonathan Smith Show in 4 minutes on ND Sports Ticket 1430.
It's the real Jonathan Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket, 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Purdue's new athletic director, I still think I love it. Oh, it's so great. Coming out saying if you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana. Taking a jab. All the Indiana people are all up in arms about it. We just won the national title. We know. I'm sure he knows as well. This is part of a rivalry.
I'm not sure he knows.
He knows. Come on. He knows.
Doesn't sound like he knows.
Okay, he's coming from a school in Texas, a state that lives and breathes football, especially college football. I promise he knows. Okay, this is just part of being in a rivalry. You talk trash. You talk crap. It's part of it. Okay, it's fun. I love it. I hope he continues to talk trash and all of those things. So, oh man, I freaking love this. Anyway, welcome into the real Jonathan Smith Show, where we are pro trash talking. Talk a lot of trash. It's fun. Thanks for tuning in, no matter how you're tuning in. YouTube, Indy Sports Ticket. If you want to head over there and subscribe, you can watch the show on X__Jonathan Smith to follow me there and watch the show there. You can also listen on the Indy Sports Ticket app or 1430 AM if you're driving around the Indianapolis area. Gritty saying it is stupid makes him look very dumb. Okay, well, I guess Coach Cignetti looked incredibly stupid and very dumb when he said Michigan sucks before he had ever coached a single game at Indiana, coming off of a season where Michigan won a national title. Okay, no one sat around and called Coach Cignetti dumb for that, because I thought this is just kind of common sense of whenever you're a new hire somewhere in the world of sports, you want to create some sort of momentum and some sort of belief in whatever you're about to start doing. Okay, that is what Coach Cignetti did when he arrived at Indiana. Okay, he said Michigan sucks, even though they had just won a national title, because he wanted to create excitement and anticipation and a little bit of momentum for what he was about to try to build at Indiana. Purdue, he's just doing the same thing. Okay, that's the reality of it. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, overrated, underrated, NFL edition. We'll probably do more and more of these as we get closer and closer to the start of the NFL season, leading up to prediction week, which is in like a month. Can't wait. Gonna be a lot of fun for that. Chris, do we have that new bed? 'Cause I like it. It's groovy. Big fan of it.
You like the new bed, do you?
I do. I do like the new bed. It doesn't squeak. It kind of rocks more than anything else.
Okay, let's check it out.
See? Groovy. Rocks a little bit. Pretty good. You're the music guy. What do you think?
I feel like you're about to sell me a box of cereal.
Really?
New Fruit Loops on the shelves this weekend. They got marshmallows.
They have marshmallows. Isn't that a that's Lucky Charms, man?
Yeah, Fruit Loops have marshmallows too.
Do they?
They do.
Since when?
Since
I don't eat
I don't
cereal
know.
anymore.
It's pretty awesome. You should try it.
Okay. All
There
right.
you go. But
Maybe one day.
There you go.
We'll see. All right. Overrated, underrated, NFL edition. Overrated. Let's go with Aaron Donald returning to the Rams. Everyone is ecstatic about this idea of Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett playing together. There's like this feeling that this is gonna end all NFL offenses. Can we just stop for a second? Just 1 second. And look at two facts about Aaron Donald that I think are really important. One, he hadn't played football in 2 years. That matters. It's like, well, Jonathan, he's been working out. He's in great shape. I know that he stayed in shape. The story of him working out with like a Make-A-Wish kid and making that kid throw up, it'll live on forever. If you haven't heard it, it's incredible. Okay? Aaron Donald is a freak in the gym. Absolutely. He stayed in shape. But there's a huge difference between lifting weights and staying in shape versus working on your pass rushing moves and those kinds of things. He hasn't been doing that over the last 2 years. He's just stayed in the gym. That's not the same thing. Those two things are not equal. The other part of this, he's 35. When we last saw him in 2023, Chris, would you like to guess how many sacks Aaron Donald had in 2023?
5.
No, he had 8.
Okay.
Eight sacks. And sorry, that's just like an unfair game for you. Like,
I'm always going to get it wrong.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's unfair, but I appreciate you playing anyway. He finished the year with 8 sacks in 16 games. Was he still a good player that year? Yes, absolutely. But he wasn't the double-digit sack guy that he was in his prime. Will he make the Rams better? Yes, he absolutely will. But can we stop acting like we're pairing Reggie White up with Joe Green? Okay, like that's not what we're doing. We're putting Myles Garrett, who's coming off the best pass rushing season in the history of football, up with a guy in Aaron Donald who was great in his prime, but isn't in his prime anymore. Okay, let's just evaluate this for what it is. Underrated. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It feels controversial to say this, but I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be good this year. How do I know that? They have Patrick Mahomes. Well, Jonathan, Patrick Mahomes is coming off of a torn ACL. I'm talking to Colts fans that think Daniel Jones is going to be awesome after he's coming off of a torn Achilles. Okay? Patrick Mahomes is going to be fine. There's one thing about the Chiefs last year that has not been discussed enough. Their offensive line was terrible. Okay? They had one bad year, and it was a year where their left tackle missed half of the year. They had to replace their right tackle in the middle of the season because he couldn't stop false starting. If Josh Simmons, that's the left tackle, doesn't miss time for personal reasons this year, they'll be better just because of that. And if they solved the right tackle problem, then they'll be good enough to win the Super Bowl. Well, what about the weapons? Who's he going to throw the football to? Patrick Mahomes, like Tom Brady, doesn't need great receivers. When the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2023, guess how many 1,000-yard receivers they had? 0. They didn't have one. Rashee Rice and company is more than enough for one of the best quarterbacks ever to find success. Okay? Especially since they added a guy in Kenneth Walker, reigning Super Bowl MVP. He's the best running back they've had in this Mahomes era. Okay, they've got good interior offensive linemen as well. They should be able to run the football. If they can do that and protect Mahomes, then they're going to compete for a Super Bowl again because they have the best quarterback in the NFL. Okay? Speaking of the best quarterback in the NFL, overrated, the Buffalo Bills are the same team. Honestly, I think there's a chance that they got worse. Oh, well, they have Josh Allen. Yeah, I know they do. Okay, and I also know that Sean McDermott couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes, but he's a good coach. Now, former offensive coordinator Joe Brady is in charge, a guy who's never been a head coach before. Everyone's excited about the DJ Moore addition. Look, Josh Allen was really good last year, and he didn't need DJ Moore. They probably should have gone out and gotten some guys to bolster that defense because that's what I have questions about. This has been their issue. In their last 5 playoff losses, they're giving up 33 points on average. They didn't fix that. They don't have a premier pass rusher. Their best pass rushers, probably a guy who had 9.5 sacks 3 years ago, and Ed Oliver. Okay, the last 2 years, he's had 3 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons. To be fair, he only played in 3 games last year before missing the rest of the year. Their second best pass rusher is 30-year-old Bradley Chubb, who only had 8.5 sacks last year. They don't have a premier corner. I like Maxwell Hairston, but he only started 3 games as a rookie. Christian Benford's a solid player, but he's not a number 1 corner. This defense isn't good enough for them to win a Super Bowl. And Sean McDermott, a coach who consistently elevated this defense despite the lack of talent on it, isn't there to do that anymore. The offense in Buffalo, going to be awesome again. But it's hard to win a Super Bowl by outscoring people. And that's what the Bills are going to have to try to do this year if they finally want to reach the mountaintop with Patrick Mahomes. Underrated. What's up, Chris?
I thought you said Bengals. Did you say Bengals?
Not yet. I'm gonna get to the Bengals. That's not what I meant though. I meant Bills if I said Bengals. Underrated. The Las Vegas Raiders. I think they're gonna be decent this year. They've got a lot of interesting weapons. Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty are obviously the headliners in that. I think Jack Beck and Jalen Naylor are two interesting young receivers. Kirk Cousins is better than Geno Smith. And eventually we'll see Fernando Mendoza, who's also probably better than Geno Smith. They improved the offensive line by bringing in center Tyler Linderbaum. Colton Miller's a solid left tackle. So they've got some talent on offense. They've got a competent quarterback. They're going to be better this year. Defensively, it's Max Crosby as the headliner. He's a beast. After that, it's a lot of just solid players like Kwity Paye, solid. Jonah Lalu is solid. Eric Stokes, Quay Walker, and Nakobe Dean are all good players too. They got a lot better, and Clint Kubiak can't be worse than Pete Carroll was last year. I think that they're going to be a lot like the Charlotte Hornets were in the NBA this year. They're not going to win a ton of games, but we're going to get to the end of the season feeling like they're on the right track for the first time in a long time. Overrated. Last overrated one here. The Bengals aren't going to be some juggernaut this year. Everyone loves the Bengals. And I've seen people pick them to win the Super Bowl, and I think that's nothing short of absurd. They still have the same issues. Their offensive line can't protect Joe Burrow, who's only getting older. They haven't made the playoffs since 2022 for the same reasons. They can't protect Burrow, and their defense isn't good enough. They're going to continue to have the same problems. Ted Karras at center, good player. Outside of that, it's a lot of average and below average. Orlando Brown is not the answer at left tackle. The Chiefs moved off of that guy for a reason. Yes, the Bengals brought in Dexter Lawrence, but they're not pairing him with Trey Hendrickson. They're pairing him with Boy Mafe and Miles Murphy. That is not the same thing. Their secondary and linebackers are okay, but this isn't a Super Bowl team. And I think there's a really decent chance that Zach Taylor finally gets fired at the end of this season. Final underrated one right here. The Seattle Seahawks only won the Super Bowl, and yet no one is talking about them. Everyone's focused on the Rams and how much better the Rams have gotten, and Sean McVay and all that stuff. And there's a lot of talk about how 20 of the 90 players on the 49ers current roster are hurt, which is insane, by the way. That little power plant thing, whatever it's called, causing some issues up there. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks, who again won the Super Bowl last year, are returning 88% of their snaps from last season. 95% of the guys that were on the field last year for Seahawks snaps on offense are back, and 79% on defense. They won the Super Bowl, and they're basically bringing every single person back. Kenneth Walker's the only major offensive player that's gone, but they drafted Jadarian Price to replace him. Notre Dame fans know what I'm talking about. Obviously, Jeremiah Love is the headliner there, but Jadarian Price was a very, very good player behind Jeremiah Love. Would have started at a lot of other schools across college football. Now, Brian Fleury being their new offensive coordinator is the only question that I have about them, because Clint Kubiak did an excellent job with Sam Darnold last year. So if that can just kind of work out, then the Seahawks offense is going to be just fine. Defensively, they've lost a few guys, but Mike McDonald is going to figure it out. He is the Sean McVay of defensive coaches. They also kept all of the important guys. Nick Emenwari's back. Byron Murphy's back. Leonard Williams is back. DeMarcus Lawrence is back. Josh Jobe and Devon Witherspoon are all still there. They're Super Bowl good again. I may pick them. That's how good they are. This roster is still incredibly complete. A.J. Barner's back on offense. They're tight end that really kind of makes a lot of things go. there's a lot to like about that roster. I understand that, the Rams are in LA and they got this shiny new stadium and they got Myles Garrett and they have all these stars. That's great. But are they as complete? How's their special teams going to be? I'll tell you right now, won't be as good as Seattle's. Seattle Seahawks, underrated for some reason, despite winning a Super Bowl. I've got overrated and underrated college football thoughts as well. I have to keep being nice to Notre Dame fans, which is kind of annoying. But I'll do that. Purdue AD and Jonathan Taylor, those are your big headlines for today. Jonathan Taylor signs a 2-year extension. Good. I think it's a good deal for both sides. Jonathan Taylor gets paid, and the Colts didn't have to extend him until like deep into his 30s. Like he's 27 this year, so he'll be 29 going into his age 30 season when his contract is up. So good extension on the Colts part, and Jonathan Taylor gets paid. We'll see if this is, the year where Jonathan Taylor's rushing ability can power the Colts into the playoffs. But I've got more overrated, underrated. This time, a college football edition in 3 minutes.
The best takes. Maybe. The real Jonathan Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful day. Shout out to new Purdue athletic director for giving us all of the content. It's great. I love, Chris, you know what I love, man? I love how Coach Signetti at Big Ten Media Days, makes this comment about how people in the Midwest don't whine. But yet, for some reason, whenever I'm, like, refreshing my Twitter page during all these breaks, I'm seeing a lot of, like, Indiana fans whining about what the new Purdue athletic director had to say. Fascinating.
We whine in small doses. We just don't whine all the time. But we got to whine sometimes to balance it out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, man, that's so funny. That's awesome. We whine in small doses. That's great, dude. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Welcome into the real Jonathan Smith Show here on Indy Sports Ticket. Thanks for tuning in, no matter how you're tuning in. We're doing dueling trivia with Chris coming up here at 2 o'clock, like normal.
That sounds right.
Cool. I don't know how many of these we have left, man. Because when football season starts, we're full go for that.
Yeah, I mean, your record is way better than mine. What are you, like 3-1-1 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah,
So if
Nothing
I
crazy.
lose today, I'm pretty much done. But if I'm gonna make a comeback, it's got to be today.
You know me, I'm a sore loser. So, by the way, I'm 4-1-1. And
Okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty much done. I'm
if
tanking the season.
If there's a chance where you can come back and beat me, we'll just stop doing the segment.
I think that sounds so Jonathan of you.
Man. That's a joke.
Exactly what you would say.
We'll do. I'll just really amp up how tough it needs to be. So, all right. A little more overrated, underrated college football edition. So, there it is. What do you think? It's good. I like it.
Fruit Loops with marshmallows, part of your balanced breakfast.
Yeah, Fruit Loops, not part of your balanced breakfast. we call Fruit Loops dessert where I'm from. Dude, seriously, bowl of cereal for dessert's top tier.
Yeah, but you also jump off the top of refrigerators too, so you're
You don't think cereal's like a great?
dessert? No.
It's a great late night snack.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna dismiss that, but I wouldn't call it dessert.
Any sugary thing you eat after dinner is dessert.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all that cereal is just sugar. Okay. Before we do overrated, underrated, real quick, three-round draft. What cereal are you taking first?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Gosh. That's what I was going to take.
Everybody's
Captain
first
Crunch.
choice. Okay. Fruity Pebbles.
We'll go the Reese's Puffs.
Okay. Probably Pops. You like those?
Pops.
Corn Pops.
No, dude.
Gotta have my Pops. Shut up.
Is that
You asked.
a slogan?
I answered. Leave me alone.
Is that the slogan?
Yeah, gotta have my Pops, or at least
it
it was.
really?
I don't know, in the 80s.
Oh man, there's a lot of jokes you could make about that slogan. Third pick. You took Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That sucks. We'll go Frosted Flakes. I ate those a lot growing up. That's a good option.
Choice. Yeah.
It's a good option. All right. Overrated, underrated, college football edition. Overrated. Alabama. Alabama, I think, is going to struggle this year, and they're really going to regret giving Kalen DeBoer that extension that they gave him in the offseason that now has his buyout up to $70 million. Oh, to be Kalen DeBoer and go 7-5 this year. That'd be awesome. With the conferences being so large, sometimes you win the schedule lottery. And other years, you don't come close to winning it. That's Alabama this year. They have to play Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. All four of those games are losable. And they have a lot of new players this year. Ryan Williams is their most experienced player. He has a drop problem. There's a new quarterback. They lost a couple key offensive linemen to the NFL draft. There's a lot for them to replace from last year. We'll see if they can do it or not. Defensively, their secondary's back. So that's good. They've got a couple potential first-round picks on defense, but they got pushed around by Indiana last year. Now, they tried to beef it up a bit by bringing in a couple of transfers by the name of Terrence Green and Devin Tompkins to kind of help with that problem. I don't know if that's enough. It feels like an 8-4 team. 8-4. Maybe they find a way to go 9-3, and Kalen DeBoer finds a way to stay employed. Kind of find that hard to believe, though. Underrated. Louisville. Louisville's won 9 games 3 years in a row now. And Jeff Brom can coach. Just ask Purdue fans. He's more of an offensive-minded guy, but Louisville's passing attack was inconsistent last year. Should be much better this year. They land Ohio State transfer quarterback Lincoln Kienholz. What a brutal last name.
I was like, what'd you just say?
Or maybe it's Kienholz.
Yeah, let's say that.
Kienholz.
Kind holes.
That's what I said. Okay. So he's going to be their new quarterback. Look, man, if you get anyone from Ohio State, they're probably really talented. So congrats to them on that. They also landed a few transfer receivers. Trey Richardson from Vanderbilt, LaWayne McCoy from Florida State, brought in a new tight end, Brody Foley from Tulsa. So they should be able to throw the football a little bit better this year. They've got a good and experienced linebacking core. It's one of the better ones in the ACC. They've got some returning defensive linemen that can really play as well. They are more than capable of meeting Miami in the ACC championship game. Are they better than Miami? No. I'd be very surprised if they were, but I wouldn't count Coach Brom and Louisville I wouldn't count them out on the idea of them punching a ticket to the college football playoff this year. Maybe it's like the 10 seed or something like that, but I like what they got going on down there. Overrated, Michigan. I know Kyle Whittingham's a good coach, but winning the Big 12 is very different than winning in the Big 10. By the way, he never won the Big 12, but he did win the Mountain West in 2008, so almost 20 years ago, and he won the Pac-12 twice in 2021 and 2022. Again, winning in the Pac-12, very different than winning in the Big 10. The question for them is if Bryce Underwood can figure it out, because he was bad last year. 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a completion percentage of only 60%. That is what I would describe as pitiful. Take a huge leap. And it's going to be hard to do that against this schedule that includes Ohio State, Indiana, Oklahoma, Iowa, Penn State, and Oregon. Brutal draw. Maybe Kyle Whittingham can win 8 games, but more than that, feels like a bridge too far against that schedule. And more importantly, Michigan doesn't have the required hate in their hearts to beat Ohio State this year. So it's a problem. Underrated, BYU. Everyone's picking Texas Tech to win the Big 12, including me. But BYU is going to push them for that. BYU went 12-2 last year, both losses coming to Texas Tech. Texas Tech crushed them in the Big 12 title game, 63-14. Ugly. Wasn't a contest, and it cost them a college football player spot. But Bear Bachmeier and LJ Martin are both back after really good seasons last year. Their defense has a history of being tough. They just have to find a way to compete with Texas Tech. Do they have the players to do it? Were they able to go out in the portal and bring in the required players? If they did, especially along the offensive and defensive lines, if those areas are better, then BYU's probably a playoff team. Overrated, Texas A&M. Texas A&M benefited from an easy schedule last year. Again, some years you win the scheduling lottery, some years you don't. And then when you win the scheduling lottery and you get to the college football playoff, you get exposed. That's what happened to Indiana against Notre Dame 2 years ago. And that's what happened to Texas A&M when they played Miami last year. Their offense got exposed. Marcel Reed has to continue to get better. And they have a lot of players to replace on both the offensive and defensive line. Okay, they've got one returning starter on the O-line, but they do bring in 4 SEC transfers with experience. We'll see how those guys mesh. Defensively, they lose SEC Defensive Player of the Year Cassius Howell off the edge. They've got 3 returners in the secondary, but literally everywhere else on their defense, they are relying on the transfer portal to plug the holes. Okay, Mike Elko, I think, is a good coach. I think he's one of the better coaches in the SEC. But he's got a lot to fix this year with the departure of so many important players from last year, and he has to fix his offense. What's so funny?
that commercial that was on. But did you say his name was Mike Coco?
Mike Elko.
Okay, I heard Mike.
I said
Coco.
it fast, so yeah, that makes
All right,
sense.
Sorry.
So, last one here. Pains me to do it, but I have to. I have to be honest. I think Notre Dame's underrated this year. I'm surprised that they were ranked fifth in the coaches poll because they are absolutely loaded. They have, so much talent. It's insane what they've got going on up there. They're more than capable of winning the national title. I don't know if I would quite say that they should be the favorite, but they're pretty good. CJ Carr is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I expect him to be in New York at the Heisman ceremony. My concern for them is that they wind up a bit like Ohio State from last year. It's important to be tested during the regular season. It gets you ready for the college football playoff. I don't know if their schedule really prepares them for the college football playoff or not. Miami obviously does. Maybe BYU does. We'll see if they can make the required improvements. That's really it. For Ohio State last year, Texas and Indiana in the Big Ten title game were the only tough games that they really had. I think it's important to be stretched in the regular season. I think it's important to be tested because you're going to get stretched and tested during the playoff. That's just, the way that things go in college football. At some point, you're going to have to find a way to respond in the face of adversity. And I just don't know if Notre Dame's going to be ready for that because they're not going to see that at all during the regular season. Even when you go back to the year where they made it to the college football playoff final, they had close calls against Texas A&M. They had a close call against Louisville. They lost at home to Northern Illinois. Those games got them ready for the college football playoff. I don't think they have those games on their schedule this year. So there's your overrated, underrated college football teams as we get ready for the upcoming season. Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor signs a 2-year extension today, $39 million guaranteed, up to $47 million total. If he checks the boxes on all of his bonuses, he's now the second highest paid running back in the NFL behind Bijan Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs probably going to pass him. Okay, Jonathan Taylor also signed a contract that is the most amount of money a running back has ever gotten on a third contract. So big congratulations to him. I'm just not a – it's a good signing for the Colts from the standpoint of the people that are there right now absolutely have to win. Okay, they absolutely have to win. There is no way around it. And because of that, Jonathan Taylor is the guy that you want on your team. But I think that for the long term, because I still stand by the idea that the Colts are going to go like 7-10, 8-9, somewhere around there this year. I don't think that they're a playoff team. But do you really want Jonathan Taylor on your team after Chris Ballard's gone? I don't think that you do. As great of a player as he is, you're probably going to start the rebuild after this year. So they'll be able to trade him after this. They'll have a couple of years to do that because of this extension. So we'll see how it goes. I think everybody got what they wanted in this. The Colts have Jonathan Taylor for this year. Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are going to be given everything that they want so that they can try and compete and make the playoffs this year and potentially save their jobs. But the Colts have the contract set up to where when Jonathan Taylor's 29, that'll be the final year of his contract with the Colts, and they'll be able to reevaluate him when he's going into his 30s. So good deal, I think, all around for both sides. I think it accomplishes whatever your side wants in this because the Colts do want Jonathan Taylor to be around because he's such a guy who is beloved by fans, and it's important to have that. So,
well, yeah, not only that, but they're promising this drive towards a playoff, right? Like they need to get in the playoffs or they need to host a playoff game. I don't think they're doing that without Jonathan Taylor or if he's holding out or anything like that. I think it was a good move.
Yeah, it's, again, they have to win this year. It was going to be a lot harder to do that if they didn't have Taylor. So even though me personally, I would have just fired Chris Ballard and torn everything down, but they didn't want to do that.
Agreed.
So There you go. There's your Jonathan Taylor update. I have to talk about Pete Crow Armstrong. I think he should be the National League MVP. He is the biggest reason for the Chicago Cubs' success this year, especially with all of the injuries that they've dealt with on the bump. I'm going to give you the case for Pete Crow Armstrong to be the National League MVP in 3 minutes.
HD2 and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
We don't talk a ton of baseball on the show, but what Pete Crow Armstrong is doing, I think, is worthy of just like a couple of minutes. And he's just been incredible this year. Like, he's everything that you want in a center fielder and so much more. Welcome into the Real Jonathan Smith Show here on Indy's Sports Ticket. Pico Armstrong has single-handedly kept the Cubs afloat this year, and I think he should be the league MVP. It's going to be him or Shohei Ohtani. And I get it with Ohtani. Like, he hits and he pitches. Pico Armstrong hits every day, just like Shohei Ohtani. But the difference is Pico Armstrong plays defense every single day, and he's the best defensive center fielder in baseball. That's just the reality of it. It's why his WAR's so high. He could post a WAR of 10 this year, which I believe it'd be the first time that was ever done. He's phenomenal. Okay, his OPS is 938. Translation: he hits doubles, homers, and he walks a lot, which is why he's a much better baseball player this year compared to what he was last year. Last year, he walked 29 times all season. We just got to August. He has already walked 60 times this year. He has struck out less. He's still stealing bases. He's hitting 288 for the people who like batting average. He's a complete five-tool player. And the reason why he's at this point is because the plate discipline has gotten so much better. Like, that is, one, an incredibly hard thing to learn, but he's figured it out because when guys are throwing 98-mile-an-hour fastballs that have 6 inches of run, if you don't know what that looks like, imagine if Greg Maddux threw 98. That's what all these guys are doing now. It's incredible. Okay, so to develop plate discipline when you're seeing this style of pitching is incredible, and it's why he's an MVP candidate this year. Because when you have plate discipline, everyone immediately thinks about walks and how your walk rate goes up and how you walk more in general. But you also hit better. His plate discipline is why his batting average is 41 points higher this year than it was last year. His plate discipline is why, he's hit 26 home runs this year. Last year he hit 31, and he's still got, a month left at least before things, before they get to the postseason. Because when your plate discipline improves, it's not just about laying off balls that are outside of the zone. It's the ability to take strikes that are in the zone that you don't want to hit. And when you just swing at better pitches, everything magically falls into place. It's kind of crazy how that's happened. So his development in that area is why I think he's going to win the MVP. That, and he's one of the best defenders in baseball, period. It's like he doesn't make diving plays in the outfield very simply because he doesn't have to. He just runs everything down. It is nothing short of incredible stuff. Okay, so there's your 5 minutes on baseball today. Chris, did you see the video of Madison Beer and Justin Herbert?
No. I mean, I saw where people were talking about it, but I haven't actually seen it, where they were, like, on the field and he was, like, in his uniform and stuff.
You should look it up.
Okay.
It's incredible. And I don't have a huge thought on it other than to say that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift never did that. It's like I would argue the beer thing's more of a distraction than any of the Swift stuff ever was.
Oh,
like you can't take your what?
It was like they got in a fight.
Oh no. They look, man, like you can't take your fiance to work, right?
Yeah, I think it's this one.
Like
where they're being all lovey-dovey.
Yeah, scroll up. The one where they're sitting on the ground. That's the one that went viral.
Okay.
And I think if I brought Amelia in here, I feel like that'd be pretty weird.
Well, yeah, if you guys did that.
Do you agree? You can't do that.
You can't do that here.
Right? Come on now. Let's get it together, Justin Herbert. I'm, was betting on you, making the playoffs this year. I don't know if I can do that anymore. Is Justin Herbert fully focused on the upcoming season? That's a joke. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's going to be.
I mean, not in this video, but
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Gritty chiming in the YouTube chat saying IU fans are not whining about the Purdue AD. We're seeing different IU fans then. We are laughing at him. You are laughing at him. Hoosiers don't whine. Yeah, that's just not true. I've been here long enough. Hoosiers whine. It's okay.
that game in November is going to be extra special if that continues.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
Indiana's going to beat them by 70. That game's not going to be close.
I mean, maybe it'll be more fun. Maybe a lot more trash talking leading up to that game, though. That's what I meant.
Nah, man. Purdue's going to be. I like where your head's at, and I hope that we get there someday. But Purdue's going to be like 3-8 going into that game. Like Purdue's going to beat Indiana State, and they're going to beat. Maybe that's it. That might be it. They might be 1-10 rolling into that game against Indiana. There's going to be no trash talk, none whatsoever. Yeah, that's on the road in Bloomington this year as well, and so yeah, good luck there. Like, I love the idea of Purdue getting to a point in college football to where like. We can maybe once every 4 years be like, maybe, Purdue sneaks up on IU this year. They're not at that point yet. So I feel like something that would help them get to that point, though, would be Coach Odom coming on the show. I'm assuming we have not heard back from them yet, though. Maybe even longer now with what their athletic director just said.
Yeah, they might be avoiding the media for a little while.
I don't think they are. I think this is, again, a good thing for them. We'll see how it goes from there. But just, again, I like it. No one else does, but that's okay. It's all right. I think everyone likes the Jonathan Taylor contract extension, though. 2 years, $39 million guaranteed, up to $47 million total. Now the second highest paid running back in the NFL behind Bijan Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs will pass him soon as well. Given the amount of money he's being paid, Chris, what is a reasonable expectation for Jonathan Taylor this year?
Well, you said he had a really good year in 21, right? With 18 touchdowns. Is that accurate? Something like that?
Yeah, he had 18 touchdowns last year. Rushing, I think he had 20 total. So two more receiving.
Okay. So I wouldn't expect him to lead the league in yards like he did last year or the year before, I think it was. I would probably say 14 to 16, maybe 14 solid touchdowns, receiving and rushing.
Okay.
Maybe 1,300 yards.
Okay.
Acceptable. And probably at least 15 out of 17 games, right?
Yeah, that's if he plays 15 games, I think that's reasonable. I just think that, if you're going to pay him that much money, you got to make the playoffs, right?
Well, yeah, but it's not all up to him either. You can't blame him for the entire team missing the playoffs.
You're right. You can't blame him for being the only reason that the Colts missed the playoffs. Absolutely. I don't know. I feel like he needs to be. I think he needs to be available for every game because we've talked a little bit about Daniel Jones and the idea of him missing some games and these kind of things. But how many games can Jonathan Taylor miss before the Colts' playoff hopes are gone?
That depends on who's still running the quarterback position.
If Daniel Jones stays healthy,
yeah.
How many games do we think Jonathan Taylor can miss before the Colts' playoff hopes go bye-bye?
He should probably not miss any for playoff purposes, but maybe 2 at the most. Maybe.
I'm thinking 2 at the most.
Yeah. That's
what I'm thinking. If Daniel Jones, well, look, if either one of them get hurt, it kind of feels like the year's over. At that point, that's probably a bit drastic, but again, when I look at this schedule, I just I just feel like the Colts are the lesser team in so many of these games. And if you're the lesser team, like your best players have to play, and that's Daniel Jones, who's coming off of a torn Achilles. It's Jonathan Taylor, who's coming off of a season where he just carried the football 300 times and is, only going to get, it just continues to stack up the hits. And it's Alec Pierce, who had surgery on his ankle in the offseason and still isn't back. By the way, still haven't gotten any sort of an update on that.
Last I heard, he's just making progress, expected to be back next week.
Expected to be back next week. Didn't they say that last week?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they kind of did.
Yeah, it's,
Because they got old boy from special teams filling in at wide receiver.
Oh, Dueling?
No, the other guy, the safety or whatever.
Burks? Down. The safety.
They have a safety. I think his name is Nickel.
Oh, yeah,
Filling in
yeah,
at
yeah.
camp for the
That's
wide
right.
receiver spot
Yeah,
until he comes back.
Who needs Travis Hunter when you have Nickel,
Yeah.
right?
Whatever that guy's name is.
So,
But yeah, you're right. But again, I know that Jonathan Taylor getting a bag today doesn't guarantee us a win over Baltimore or Kansas City.
Yeah.
We're still looking at the same situation, but at least that drama is settled. We can move on and start focusing on.
that's right. We can start focusing on Quentin Nelson's contract extension.
Yeah.
Because that is the next one in line. Look, they're not going to extend Buckner. I think everyone involved knows that and understands that. Because when you're 30-something-year-old defensive tackle who's got neck and back problems, not great. So, yeah. So Quentin Nelson, next guy up in that department, and then it's probably Josh Downs. He's in the final year of his contract as well. So there's still more deals that need to get done. But like you said, this is the first one. The Colts can kind of move on and start looking at the other stuff now. We'll see how it goes, man. Man, it's a lot of money to give an older running back. Highest paid third contract for a running back ever. Just insane stuff there. But hey, maybe it pans out because the Colts do need, to their credit here, the Colts do need a strong run game in order for them to have a chance at making the playoffs this year. I know everyone's excited about the return of Daniel Jones, but I do think there's an understanding that Daniel Jones without a run game is bad news. Probably not going to end very well. I mean, shoot, we've seen Daniel Jones with a good run game with Saquon Barkley, and it looked terrible. So absolutely have to have a strong run game this year. Jonathan Taylor obviously being the answer to that. So we'll see if it pans out or not. Him, Alec Pierce, Daniel Jones kind of seem like the three pillars of the offense this year. They seem like the three pillars going forward. All three of them are under contract at least through next year as well. So I don't know. It feels like two of the three just kind of feel like they don't belong. Daniel Jones is, I think, a tier 3 quarterback, probably somewhere between the 15th and 20th best quarterback in the NFL. I know there's a lot of excitement around Alec Pierce and his contract extension and everything that he kind of brings, but I don't know. He's never caught 50 passes in a season. I think it's fair to be at least a little concerned about that. That guy being your best receiver. So there's still a lot of prove it that has to happen on this Colts roster this year because even Daniel Jones, he was struggling, but before he ended up getting hurt at the end of last year. Alec Pierce needs to show that he can do a little bit more. Josh Downs is going to have to show that he can handle this increased load. Jalen Travis is going to have to show that he's a starting caliber offensive tackle in the NFL. Tui Molowow is going to have to show that he's a starting caliber edge rusher. Or forget that, a rotational edge rusher. And so DeForest Buckner is going to have to show that he can stay healthy. Again, it's just more ifs. That is what this Colts team is. And if they all work out, then it'll be a good season. And if they do not, Chris Ballard is gone, and Shane Steichen might be gone with him. So we'll see. Coming up, 2 o'clock, we've got dueling trivia. Me and Chris going at it in a war of mental capacity, because that's really what trivia is. How many random facts can you memorize? We were doing 10 questions today, right?
I know you asked me last night. I'm cool. I'm good with 10 if you need 10, but if you only got 5, we can do that too.
We'll do 10. Why not?
All right.
All right. So we will do that. Dueling trivia coming up at 2 o'clock. But first, Chris has your sports update.
Thanks, Jonathan. Here's a few stories trending this hour. We are talking about Jonathan Taylor getting his money this morning. The Colts gave the 3-time Pro Bowler a 2-year, $44 million extension worth up to $47 million. That includes $39 million guaranteed per Adam Schefter. Colts training camp resumes tonight at 8 o'clock in Westfield. NFL preseason officially kicks off tonight with the Panthers and Cardinals playing in the Hall of Fame game. That's over in Canton, Ohio, and you can find that on NBC and Peacock starting at 8 o'clock as well. The first game of a back-to-back for the Indiana Fever happens tonight against the Las Vegas Aces. 7 p.m. tip at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. You can watch that on Amazon Prime Video if you feel like staying home. If Kelsey Mitchell scores 20 tonight, she'll tie the Aces star Asia Wilson's single-season record of 15 consecutive games of 20 points or more. So good luck to her. And of course, Caitlin Clark still remains one technical foul away from a 1-game suspension. We'll see if that happens tonight. That's what's trending this hour. More of the Real Jonathan Smith Show and Dueling Trivia in 4 minutes on Indy Sports Ticket 1430.
Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket, 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Hour number 3 of the real Jonathan Smith Show. Chris, before we get to dueling trivia, I have to update us on a very important story that we talked about yesterday.
Sure. Let's do it.
For the first time in history, the Akron Zips have sold out of season tickets.
Get out of here.
They sold every single one.
There you go.
Let's go.
So how do they determine who gets to do the first drive or whatever?
Random lottery drawing.
Okay. So they find out like right before the game or whatever?
No, they'll have to find out before the game because you have to like plot the drive, and I'm sure there'll be coaches meetings and all those things.
I would assume whatever gets chosen for that initial drive of the season would have to be approved, right?
Yeah, probably. Like this is one of those things where like, yeah, we're gonna let you call the plays. Meanwhile, the offensive coordinator is like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. Your hand will be held pretty heavily. If you step out of line even a little bit, we're going to jerk you off to the side. So that's, oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, good for Akron, though. Good for them. That's how you sell out some games. Was it just the one game, or you said season tickets?
Season tickets.
There
That's
you go.
every home game.
Very good.
So their games are going to be empty because there's people like Dan who live in Indianapolis who bought tickets. I don't think he's driving out to Akron every Saturday. Right. So they'll probably ask people to like donate the tickets somewhere or something like that if they don't win, because that's why a lot of people are buying the tickets.
Yeah. So if they don't win that little contest, do they just all show up on StubHub and try to?
Yeah. You're probably selling your tickets trying to get some of your money back.
All right.
But like, look, if there's 6 games and you sell all your tickets like $10 a piece, you spent $15 on a chance to call plays. That's not bad.
Yeah, I would do it.
If you sell them. You sell them. So, all right, let's get into what has become a staple this summer. Let's get into dueling trivia here on the real Jonathan Smith Show.
From the arena of intellect, it's time for dueling trivia! Producer versus host. Brace yourself for the ultimate clash. Let the battle begin!
There you go. So for those who are new, dueling trivia, Chris has created a trivia for me. I've created one for him. The goal is to make it so difficult that the other one gets none of them correct. I currently have a record of 4-1-1. Looking to make it 5-1-1 today. Chris, what is your category?
Yeah, I had just put this together, and I think you'll probably knock this one out of the park like you have the other ones. But we're going to see today how well you know TV theme songs.
Oh, I don't. That's not good.
I bet you know more than you think.
Probably.
And I'm going to show, my age on a few of these, but
okay.
We're going to see what you know. Because I know you like Netflix. You like to binge watch some series.
Dude, started Scandal a couple nights ago. Okay. Incredible.
So Scandal, right? They probably play the same song before every episode, do they not?
Yeah, but I always skip the intros.
Okay, well, now you're going to pay more attention.
Let me save 2 minutes on this.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but that's what we're doing. That's what I have. I have songs for you from TV shows and I think a couple movies. So we'll see.
Okay. So earlier in the show, I said one of my favorite statistics ever is the year where the Chargers led the league in offense and defense, but they missed the playoffs because they were last in special teams.
Right.
So today I have statistical anomalies in sports history for you.
Interesting. You're such a brain.
I mean, yeah, I try. All right.
You can go first.
You want me to ask the question first?
Sure.
Okay.
Question number 1 coming from Jonathan right here.
Yeah, question number 1. On April 23rd, 1999, this is 8 months before I was born. April 23rd, 1999, St. Louis Cardinals third baseman Fernando Tatis became the only player in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 grand slams in a single inning. 1, did you know that? I know you're not a big baseball guy.
Nope.
Okay. Now the question part of this. Which Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher surrendered both home runs? A, Darren Dryfort. C, Chan-Ho Park. C. Ismael Valdez. Or D. Carlos Perez.
Let me say B. The letter B, whoever that was.
Chan-Ho Park.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Hey.
That is correct.
Let's go.
Gave up both third-inning grand slams to Tatis. Incredible stuff there. You got one. Chris on the board early. That never happened.
Don't give you too much credit. I'll probably be the only one to get right.
Okay.
I do not have multiple choice for mine. I'm just going to play the sound from said TV show, and then I'm going to give you a hint if you need it. But
Okay.
here is the first theme song from a TV show that you may know.
You were simple once before, but it's not like that anymore. What is this downside that you speak of?
Do you need a hint?
Yeah. Never heard that in my life.
Think Netflix and Showtime.
Showtime. Jeez. That sounded like Showtime. I feel like I have heard this once. I have no idea. I've never watched Showtime, so I've got no clue.
That's fair. It is on Netflix. Highly favored series called Shameless.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've heard of that show.
Yeah.
Never seen it, but that's fun.
Great
Okay.
show.
All right, number 2. Wayne Gretzky is the fastest player in NHL history to 1,000 career points, accomplishing the feat in just 424 games. Who is the second fastest player in NHL history to reach 1,000 career points? Is it A, Mario Lemieux, C, Mike Bossy, C, Wayne Gretzky, or D, oh, geez, some hockey guy's going to be like, you can't pronounce this guy's name. Jaromir Jagr. Let's go with that.
Jaromir Jagr.
Sure.
But then weren't you okay? In the question, didn't you say something? Wayne Gretzky was yada yada blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So how would
the question is Wayne Gretzky is the fastest player in NHL history to reach 1,000 career points, accomplishing the feat in just 424 games. Who's the second fastest player in NHL history to reach 1,000 career points?
Well, it's not C because you said C
Is Wayne Gretzky.
So it's not that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say A, and it was Mario Lemieux, not whatever you pronounced it as.
That is incorrect. The answer is Wayne Gretzky. So it took Wayne Gretzky 424 games to score his first 1,000 points. He then scored his second 1,000 points in just 433 games, which is faster than Mario's record of 513 games.
Okay, so you gave me the answer in the question.
Correct.
No.
All right.
Shout out Chris Ballard for that sounder.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good job, Jonathan. All right, number 2 is a song from a TV show. Here you go.
The animals, trap, trap, trap till the cages fall. The cages fall, the day is new, and everyone is waiting on you, and you've got time.
Need another hint?
Yeah.
This is also a big show on Netflix featuring Laura Prepon from That 70s Show.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either. Can I ask for? Can you give me is this a serious show or is it a comedy?
It's a little bit of both.
Oh, I got no idea then. I'm assuming it's Animal Control. Is that it?
No.
Okay. I had
No.
idea.
No, we're looking for Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've never seen that show, but I am familiar.
Okay.
All right, number 3 here. A temporary tournament rule mandated that extra time goals counted. Wait, whoops. I almost read the answer. Or I think I did. Gosh dang it.
I'd probably still get it wrong. Go
All right,
ahead.
In a 1998 Caribbean Cup qualification match, why did Barbados deliberately score an own goal in the 83rd minute against Grenada to tie the game 2-2? A temporary tournament rule mandated that extra time goals counted double, giving them a chance to win by 2 goals in extra time. B, they needed to alter the goal difference margin to force a third party team's elimination. C, it was a silent protest against a controversial red card issued to their captain. Or D, they wanted to exploit a head-to-head penalty shootout tiebreaker.
I'm going to say A, whatever you said that was.
Yeah, that's correct. I freaking read the answer.
That is correct.
I'll take him where I can get him, sir.
2-0.
All right, here's another TV theme song. It's my favorite show of all time. Your hint is FX and Dennis Leary,
I don't know who Dennis Leary is. That's the problem.
and that's why I chose this one.
FX?
Yeah.
Dennis Leary. I don't know who that is. Scrubs.
No.
No.
I had no idea.
No.
Show is called Rescue Me. It was on FX for about 8 seasons, I think. It was about the firefighters from 9/11.
Okay. That's cool. That's
Very good show.
a good topic. I like that. All right. Number 4, due to a midseason trade between teams with different schedule progressions, which player holds the NBA record for most regular season games played in a single 82-game season? Is it A, Rod Strickland, B, Mark Jackson, C, Walt Bellamy, or D, Jerry Stackhouse?
Say most points? Is that-
Most games played in a single 82-game season.
Oh, man. Let's try Mark Jackson.
That is incorrect.
No. No.
I'll give you redemption, though. How many games did Walt Bellamy play that season?
67.
In an 82-game season.
Was it 82?
He set the record.
Oh, 82 then.
No, he played 84.
How's-
Because
okay.
if you get traded to a team that's played less games,
Interesting.
yep.
Okay.
Like there are NFL players this year that if you're so like let's say like your bye week is week 13 for the team that you're currently on, and the team that you get traded to, their bye week was week 5, you don't get a bye week that year. You just keep playing in the NFL. Same thing in the NBA.
I see. Okay.
So,
Very
yeah,
cool.
there you
I
go.
wouldn't have known that. But that's why we do this.
That's right.
All right. Next TV show music stuff happening right here. This is an easy one, Jonathan.
That's it.
I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'll give you hints.
I've never heard this in my life.
Think AMC, kind of post-apocalyptic.
Oh, is this The Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead is correct.
That
Hey!
is correct.
Good job, Jonathan. There you
I'm
go.
on the board. Thank you. All right, 2-1. Chris still holding the lead here. Next quiz is question number 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. During the 2014 NFL regular season, the Kansas City Chiefs offense achieved which statistical anomaly across all 16 games? A, 0 touchdown passes were caught by a wide receiver on the roster. B, the offense did not turn the ball over a single time in the second half of any game. C, every victory came by 3 points or fewer. Or D, they failed to convert a single fourth down attempt the entire season.
Wow, those are all pretty wild. Let's go with B.
That's incorrect.
No. No.
It's A, 0 touchdown passes were caught by wide receivers on the roster. Alex Smith threw 18 touchdown passes that season, but 18 went to tight ends and running backs.
Wow.
Dwayne Bowe, 0 touchdown receptions that year.
Dang. That's pretty wild and hard to believe at the same
Yeah,
time.
that is pretty nuts. So, there you go.
All right,
Number
ready?
5. Yep.
Here we go.
In West Philadelphia,
Born and raised.
on the
Fresh Prince of
playground,
Bel-Air.
Yeah, that was the easy one.
That is correct.
I was going to walk out if you got that wrong.
I used to know that whole song. I don't anymore.
Okay, so what does mom say?
I said I don't know it anymore.
Where's he
you're moving in with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air?
There you go.
There you go.
Bonus point right
That
there.
is correct.
I'll give that to you.
A bonus point.
Yeah, sure.
You're going to give me the lead?
We're
3-2?
generous today. Yeah.
We are generous today. I'm glad you said that. I now know that we're generous today. All right. Number 6. August 4th, 1982, Joel Youngblood achieved a unique statistical feat never accomplished before or since in Major League Baseball history. What was it? A, hitting home runs for two different teams on the same day. B, recording hits for two different teams in two different cities on the same calendar day. Or C, stealing home twice in a day-night doubleheader. Or D, playing four different positions across two games for two separate franchises on the same day.
I have no idea, so I'm going to guess B.
That is correct. Recording
That
hits.
is correct.
Let's go.
Tied up. Recording hits for two different teams in two different cities on the same calendar day. I'll give you a bonus point if you can guess the two teams.
I thought you were going to say what day. What was the name
I
again?
already said what day. I read it in the question.
Yeah, I already forgot. Forget about it. What's the guy's name again?
His name is Joel Youngblood. Happened in 1982. Both teams are in the National League. There's your hint. That cuts it in half for you.
Dodgers and Giants.
No, it's the Mets and the Cubs.
All right. Other side of the country.
Yep.
All right.
Close, though.
That's cool. Ready for another one?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Oh, I know this.
It's another easy one.
Yeah, I'm not going to get this, and it's going to drive me nuts. What's my hint for this?
MTV.
Yeah, that didn't help. That's going to drive me crazy. I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. I've heard that
You want to
countless
take a guess?
times.
Yeah. No
You said
guesses.
MTV?
MTV.
I
is your
didn't watch
hint.
MTV growing up. That's the problem. I've Pimp My Ride.
Pimp My Ride. That is incorrect. We're looking for Jackass. Johnny Knoxville.
Yep, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Yep, you're right.
All right.
Gosh dang it, man. Man, what a freaking bummer. I've heard that so. Okay, we gotta wipe it and move on. Number 7. During the 2010 Wimbledon Championships, John Isner defeated Nicholas Mott in the longest tennis match in recorded history, 11 hours and 5 minutes. How many total games were played in the fifth set alone? For context, this is before tiebreakers were a thing. So you had to break your opponent in order to win the set. So is it A, 112, B, 128, C, 138, or D, 146?
I'm going to guess C, 138.
That's correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
I was looking for something with a 3 in it because it's a magic number, and that's what we're doing. I'm going to play Powerball this weekend.
You might. Hey, I mean, the final set score was 70-68 in favor of Isner, meaning 138 games were played in the fifth set alone.
Awesome.
Insane.
What's the score?
You're up 4-3.
All right, here's your next one. TV theme song trivia for Jonathan.
No idea.
You can also think MTV for this one.
Not Pimp My Ride. I know that. It's not MTV Cribs. Those are the only shows from MTV. That and Wild and Out, which I don't think is on MTV anymore.
Fair enough.
That is certainly not the Wild and Out theme song. Are you familiar with that show?
Yeah,
Okay.
I watched a lot of MTV back then.
I don't know. MTV. Let's go. MTV Cribs. Why not?
No.
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 I thought for sure you were going to get this one. It was Beavis and Butthead.
Never seen it. I know what it is. Never seen it.
Okay.
I'm just when did Beavis and Butthead come out?
Late 90s. But they're still around now. I think they play them on Paramount Plus.
Do
Or
they?
new episodes or something.
Okay. All right.
Crazy. All right.
Wilt Chamberlain remains the only center. I don't think that's actually true anymore. I need to fact check this for my own sanity.
Do we need some fact checking music?
Sure.
This fact checking moment is brought to you by Fruit Loops with marshmallows in them because this is Jonathan's new bed.
Okay, so this is This is a little dated, so we'll shift the question here.
Okay.
Will Chamberlain was the first center in NBA history to lead the entire league in total assists for a season. Oh, total assists. That's why he's got it. In which season did he record this feat? A, 1961 to 62, B, 65 to 66, C, 67 to 68, or D, 71 to 72?
I'm going to go with D, 71 to 72.
That is incorrect. It is C, 1967 to 68. Do you know why he did it? If you could tell me why he led the league in assists that year, I'll give you a bonus point because we're being nice today.
Because he passed the ball to other players and they scored.
Yeah, but like obviously,
That's right.
no,
That
that's
is
not
correct.
That's not the answer I was looking for. No, everyone was basically like, you don't pass the ball. That's why you score so many points. And he was like, fine, let me just lead the league in assists.
I got you.
So, all right.
I get a half point for that. 'Cause I wasn't wrong.
I mean, you were though. Number 9
I know.
or 8, I guess.
Okay. This is an easy one, Jonathan.
I don't know if this is Monday or Sunday night. This is Monday Night Football.
We're going to be hearing a lot of it coming up. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, because Sunday Night Football, they do the Sunday Night Football on NBC. So yeah, we'll go Monday Night Football. Is that
No.
wrong?
No.
It's Sunday Night Football.
It is Sunday, but you're still technically right. They do that in the intro, but whenever they come back from commercial, that's what plays. So it's the
Okay.
theme of NBC Sunday Night Football.
Okay, fair enough. All right, number 9, right?
Yeah.
1962, catcher Harry Cheedy became part of one of the most paradoxical transaction anomalies in Major League Baseball history. What occurred? A, he was traded to the Cleveland Indians for a player to be named later and was sent back to the Mets as that player 15 games later. B, he was traded between games of a doubleheader and struck out against his former team in Game 2. C, he bought out his own contract for $1 and resold it to another team for $1,000. Or D, he was traded 3 times in 24 hours without leaving New York City.
C sounds pretty awesome, so I'm going to go with that.
No, it's A. He was traded to the Indians for a player to be named later and was sent back to the Mets as that player.
Has anybody ever done C, though, selling their contract for $1?
I doubt it. Maybe, in like the 50s or something. But, yeah. All right.
All right.
Number 9 from you.
All right, here you go. It's not the current theme.
I know the line dance to this song.
Do you really?
Yeah.
But when this comes on, what are you about to watch?
You said at night?
Say what?
You said the show comes on at night?
Yeah, it does come on at night whenever that comes on. What
Is
do
this-
you feel like you're about to watch?
So this isn't like a weekly show. This is something for an event.
It is a weekly show, and that used to be the theme song before the show started.
I got no idea. I don't know.
Every week.
Something WWE wrestling related. I don't know what the weekly WWE show is called, but that's so clearly a wrestling song.
I'll give it to you.
That is
Okay.
correct.
That used to be the theme for Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Number 10, tied up 4-4 on November 29th, 2020, after all active quarterbacks ruled ineligible due to COVID-19 contact tracing protocols. Which practice squad wide receiver started at quarterback for the Denver Broncos against the New Orleans Saints? A, Travis Fulgham. B, Kendall Hinton. C, David Moore. Or D, Steven Sims?
I'm going to say A.
That's incorrect. It is B, Kendall Hinton.
No.
I'll give you an opportunity for a bonus point here. What ACC school did Kendall Hinton play quarterback at?
I don't know, man.
ACC. There's your hint.
Akron?
Akron's not in the ACC. I'll give you one more go at it. This may give you the answer. They play Purdue this year.
Oh man, I don't know Purdue's schedule. It's not IU.
It's not. That's not IU.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say Fulton something college.
No, Wake Forest.
You did say that.
There you go. All right.
Last one.
For all
Are
the
we still
marbles here.
tied?
We are tied. It's 4-4.
That Broncos quarterback name sounded like a fake name, so I was like, it's not. That. He's playing games. All right. Uh-oh.
This is the March Madness thing.
No.
Yes, it is.
Is that your answer?
This
I
is
mean,
the March Madness thing.
That could be correct, but no. The NBA on NBC.
Is that? I guess it is. Yeah, you're right.
Basketball.
Yeah. I know the SNL skit. It's great. Yeah.
They might have used that for March Madness though, but no. NBA on NBC is what you would find it under,
Okay. Fair enough.
to be technical.
Tie game. 4-4. What a bummer.
Let's do this.
Let-
What you got?
let's
You got
do
a
what?
game? You got a
I don't
tiebreaker?
have any more. I'm out.
Oh, I got one. I got one left, but
Oh,
I
you
don't know.
have one more.
I have one more, but it's from a movie, and it was kind of like in my emergency bag.
Let me see if I can find one more. You go ahead and ask yours though.
Okay, this is obviously music from a soundtrack, kind of the same premise, but
Please let it be from 8 Mile.
Hold on, I can't find it.
Great movie.
Okay, I'll let you pick. Do you want a TV series or a movie? Because I've got two things here.
How popular are the TV series and movie?
Same as that we've had so far.
Okay. Let's go movie, I guess. I feel like my chances might be a little bit better there.
All right, you've chosen soundtrack, movie. What movie would you hear this on their soundtrack?
A lot of movies. This like every movie. What?
Well, what song is known for their soundtrack that has this song on it?
I have no idea then. This song's in like, okay.
We were just talking about this movie a couple days ago.
Were we? Any like slow motion scene, they love to do the we were talking about this movie a couple days ago.
Because you had just gone to the movies.
Yeah. I went and saw The Odyssey. I went and saw Spider-Man. We weren't talking. It's not a Nolan movie.
It's not a what movie?
Christopher Nolan movie.
I don't know who that is.
He's the director.
Okay. I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
This is a great song though. I love this song in general. I don't know. No idea.
We were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, and they had
yeah, you're right.
a bunch of soundtracks.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
one of the songs there.
That's good. All right, last question here. During the 1993 World Series, Major League Baseball witnessed its highest scoring postseason game of all time. What was the unique statistical outcome of Toronto Blue Jays relief pitcher Mitch Williams' performance in Game 4? A, he blew a 5-run lead in the 8th inning without allowing a single hit. B, he allowed 6 earned runs in 2/3 innings, but was credited with the official winning decision. C, he became the only pitcher in series history to throw a immaculate inning, 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts, and take a loss in the same game. Or D, he hit a pinch hit home run before giving up a walk-off grand slam in the bottom half of the inning.
That one made you smile, so I'm going to go with D.
It's B. I was just laughing at the idea of like hitting a bomb to put your team up and then giving up a walk-off.
Fair enough.
It'd be brutal.
All right.
Brutal.
So
All right, tie.
I guess we tied again because we have a tying record, right? This now makes this what?
4-1 and 2.
Okay.
4-1 and 2 in favor of me. So all that matters.
In favor of me. Well, good
All
job,
right.
man. Good
That
game.
took way too long. That's okay.
It was
It's
fun.
That's all that matters.
Jinx.
Plus, I like when you do the throwback stuff because even if it does take too long, I'm sure that there are people that are like, oh, yeah, like Beavis and Butthead. I used to watch that, and so it's great.
They're probably yelling at you like, Jonathan,
Hey, Jonathan, how do you not know this?
it's Jackass.
You're a child.
Say it.
How do you not know this?
Right.
You said why I don't know it. It's because I'm a child. All right. Jonathan Taylor, big news today, extended by the Indianapolis Colts. We will talk about his contract extension and how that impacts the Colts' future in 3 minutes.
It may, one day, be a must-listen for sports enthusiasts.
Sure, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
Uh-oh. The Real Jonathan Smith Show. On Indy Sports Ticket 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Jonathan Taylor. Man got paid. Welcome into the Real Jonathan Smith Show. Thanks for tuning in, no matter how you're tuning in. YouTube, X, the Indy Sports Ticket app, or 1430 AM. 2-year extension, $39 million guaranteed, up to $47 million total. He's now the second highest paid running back in the NFL behind Bijan Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs, probably going to pass him soon. But this is the most amount of money a running back has ever gotten on a third contract. This is money that the Indianapolis Colts had to pay him because Chris Ballard's in the final year of his contract. He needs to win. He understands that. Shane Steichen, I'm sure he's very aware that he has never made the playoffs during his time here in Indianapolis. You know that is a hump that he really wants to get over. And they need Jonathan Taylor to be able to do that. But they need Jonathan Taylor to be awesome in order to be able to do that. Like, they need him to tote the rock 300 times again this year and to rush for 16 or 1,700 yards and lead the league in touchdowns again, like he did last year, to his credit, and like he did in 2021. They need him to be incredible again. And 27 years old, he's got 1,500 carries, or excuse me, he's got 1,500 carries in his career. That doesn't include, the 200 additional receptions that he's had. Like, can a 27-year-old running back that's touched the football, 1,700 times in his career, like, can he stay healthy 2 years in a row? Because he's never done that. You go back to 2021, plays all 17 games, wins or should have won Offensive Player of the Year that year. He was All-Pro. And then the following year, his body just didn't recover. Only played in 11 games. Only had 192 carries in those 11 games. He was having a really nice year, but his body eventually, fell apart. That's just kind of what happens sometimes. And at 27, I feel like that's kind of likely to happen again. So I think that the biggest thing for the Colts this year is just trying to make sure that he stays healthy, because the most important player on the Colts offense is Daniel Jones. But the second most important player on that Colts offense is absolutely Jonathan Taylor. So they have to do what they can to make sure that he stays healthy so that he's worth this contract. I like how short it is, because he'll be 29 years old when the contract expires, or when he's going into the final year of his deal. And which means two things. One, next year, if Ballard's not here, he'll be 28. You can probably trade him for something at that point, because whoever you trade him to will have 2 years of control. But in addition to that, like, let's say let's do glass half full here for a second. Let's say things work out this year. Colts win 11 games. They make the playoffs. They win the division. They win a playoff game. Jonathan Taylor's contract would be set to expire before he turns 30. So you would have an opportunity to reevaluate him again before he gets into his 30s, which is normally where running backs kind of really start to fall off. Usually it's late 20s, but usually by 30, they're on their last legs, probably a bit drastic. I know Derrick Henry is changing the way that we think about running back health, but Derrick Henry's the exception, not the rule, right? When you're bigger than the guys tackling you, you're going to last a little bit longer. So we'll see if Jonathan Taylor can stay healthy and if he can live up to that contract in the form of a playoff appearance. I don't think that you pay Jonathan Taylor this much to not go to the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. I think all in all, just given all of the parties involved, Chris Ballard trying to make the playoffs this year so he can keep his job, Shane Steichen, same boat, Jonathan Taylor wanting to get paid, the sisters who own the team trying to give Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen an opportunity to keep their jobs while also keeping flexibility for the future. I think that this is a deal that appeases all parties, which is a really hard thing to do. And we'll see how it goes. Should be an interesting season for Jonathan Taylor, but he's locked up. He's got, at minimum, $39 million more coming his way. So congrats to him on that. Also, congratulations to Purdue's athletic director. He had things to say, and they didn't sit well with anybody except for us. I love it. I love what he had to come out and say. We'll play that audio for you in 3 minutes.
Because you know you. Like, you.
The best takes. Maybe. The Real Jonathan Smith Show on Indy Sports Ticket 1430 AM, 93.9 HD2, and always on the free Indy Sports Ticket app.
Welcome back to the Real Jonathan Smith Show. Big news. Oh, yeah. It's big news. The Bear from Fox Sports, he's going to join us tomorrow. We're going to talk a little college football. Should be, a lot of fun getting him in there. Something else that's fun. There's a new athletic director at Purdue, and he certainly created a ripple effect after his introductory press conference. Here is Purdue's new athletic director.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
It makes me so happy. Tommy McLeland coming up from Rice, just immediately like, I don't like those guys. And, Indiana fans were whining about it. Okay, it's all good. I get it. I have two thoughts on this. One, I don't think anyone really had a problem with Coach Signetti walking out to the middle of the of Assembly Hall, grabbing the microphone and saying that the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines suck. Don't think anyone had a problem with it. Everyone thought it was awesome. It was like, this guy creating momentum. That's what he was doing. Okay, like, is it cheesy to kind of do what Coach Signetti did? Sure, yeah, maybe, I guess. So from that perspective, I don't, it doesn't bother me from that perspective. It's a rivalry. He's poking the bear a little bit. That's good. I want people like that in my department that want to win championships and want to beat my rivals. I would prefer that over what Kyle Whittingham has done at Michigan, where he's he's completely played down the rivalry against Ohio State. Because that is like something that you don't really do at Michigan. I think that's a bad idea. And if he had shown up and been like, the rivalry against Indiana doesn't really mean anything. Meanwhile, he's talking to people that say IU sucks every time the ball is kicked at home games on Saturdays. Like, that's probably not the best card to play either. So from that perspective, I like what he did. I don't mind him coming in and stirring the pot a little bit. Okay. So I just, that's my original thought on it. Buzzard, if you want to call in, would love to get your thoughts on it because you are a Purdue fan. If you're a Purdue fan, 317-228-1430. 1430 if you'd like to call in and, give me your thoughts on what the Purdue athletic director had to say. What's up, Chris?
So if he walked into the locker room and talked to the players and was just like, if you don't want to win championships, go to IU. Do you think everybody in the locker room would just be like, yeah? Or they'd be like really confused and be like, I don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I'm saying?
Players would be confused, but he's not talking to players right there. He's talking to media people.
No, I get
Yeah.
that. But I'm just saying, like,
You'd
if
be
he was
like,
to
come on, man. Like, if
be a
he's
part
like,
of the staff.
if the AD walked into the locker room, yeah, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Get out of here, dude. Go fundraise.
Yeah.
Because that's really what he's there to do. And look, if he wants to hold up his end of the bargain, sweet, we got a caller. Probably Buzzard, if I had to guess. So, like, if in order for him to hold up his end of the bargain, he's going to have to do a great job. Like fundraising, raising the NIL budgets, getting people that went to Purdue and then moved away to send money back to the school. Like, that's ultimately his job. And look, if he does a good job, Purdue's going to be much better at everything. So, we'll see. Buzzard, what's going on, man?
Did Purdue find a guy selling encyclopedias door to door and just say, you know what, we need to hire you?
Yeah, the stage presence
the gold
isn't great.
Suit, terrible. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I just say, yeah, you're spot on. No presence. Was he reading the statement? Like, we're going to be good and beat IU. Like, I don't know. Signetti's was goofy. I didn't believe him when he said it. It was just funny, but it was outlandish. And it was also in front of a crowd at a basketball game.
Yeah.
This was like a button-down selling whole life insurance at a conference in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that's a really good point on the difference in the environment. Like, if he'd made that comment at Mackey Arena and, in the middle of the floor, it probably goes over a little bit better than like a formal introductory press conference. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, come in, maybe it changes. Hey, we're going to dominate everybody. We're not in here to just be middle, low, whatever. That's done. We're here to dominate. That includes IU. That includes Michigan. That includes Ohio State. And just name off all 30 teams in the Big Ten or whatever. So it could have been better. I looked at it, watched it. I was like, oh, geez. That's not. And play. You said he's from. I didn't even know where he's from. Rice.
Yep, coming up from Rice.
Great. Okay.
Kind of looking forward to seeing what he says next. I want to see his next.
Well, look, like hopefully you don't hear from him again, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Look, like you don't hear anything from Scott Dolson at IU unless he's introducing somebody, and like that's really it.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I think this is one of those things where not great. He said it in August when NFL training camp's really the only thing going on. So it'll be a story for a few days, and then people are going to forget about it until Indiana beats Purdue 70-3 in November.
Yeah, it would be the same thing as Purdue football. They'll just forget about it. So
fair enough, man. Did you watch Purdue play at all in Canada?
I did not. I didn't watch any practice games. I just don't get into that. So it's I don't know. It's kind of like watching summer basketball. I mean, for the NBA, like you can kind of watch it. It's fun to have something on. The TBT I get into.
Okay.
But not like some of those games. Like I like watching those alumni teams from Syracuse and Kentucky, and like that stuff's fun.
Yeah.
It's competitive. That hasn't been pushed as much as it has in the past. So, but no, none of the international oddities. So.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll see. I know they're going after a big from South Dakota that's got a 5th year. We'll see if they can grab him or not, because I don't think Daniel Jacobson looked too great up there in Canada. So we'll see.
No, I did hear about that. Yeah, he was terrible. So that is not a good sign. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they do. They're ranked outside of the top 25, which was weird. So, but usually when they're overlooked is when they surprise people. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's Matt Painter. They're still going to be good. They'll be
Yep.
fine. They'll win a national title, and then the athletic director will be justified. It'll be great.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll get my jean shorts on, get my braided belt out, get ready for Colts season. Quentin Nelson jersey. I'm fired up and ready.
Oh, let's go. Going to be great. Buzzard, thanks for the call, man.
All right, man.
See ya. John Buzzard, our Purdue correspondent amongst the misfits. Very level-headed in everything that he says, which is great. Chris, are you ready for what we learned today on the Real Jonathan Smith Show?
Of course. Here we go.
Let's go.
All right, class. What did we learn today?
Yeah. This has been the Gotta Have My Pops edition of the Real Jonathan Smith Show. Today we learned that as of this morning, Jonathan Taylor has a whole lot more money than Jonathan Smith does.
It's true.
We learned
That's
that.
very true. Yeah. Great. I don't think we learned that today. I think we already knew that.
Now he has even more. We also learned that Jonathan thinks that parasites and wars are fake news. We learned that according to the new Purdue AD, if you don't want to win championships, go to IU. And if we all had the confidence he had in that statement, this world would be way more interesting.
It would be way more interesting. It'd be, yeah.
Jonathan learned that Fruit Loops now has marshmallows in it.
Yeah, didn't know that. Fascinating stuff.
I'm going to bring you some next week because I'm out tomorrow.
Okay.
Jonathan's new music bed sounds like a cereal commercial, which is why we're talking about Fruit Loops.
We can never play that ever again. I don't feel like it sounds like that, but okay.
We just had to pour some cereal every time. We learned that there's a new WNBA expansion team coming soon. They're called the Cleveland Sirens. What do you think of that, by the way?
Dude, I don't care.
That's fair.
Here's the thing. Like, this is one of those WNBA things that I don't think makes any sense. The new owner was like, we're called the Sirens because we don't want to be affiliated with the Cleveland Cavaliers at all. Like, the Cavaliers are the second biggest brand in that city behind the Browns. Like, you should want to be grouped in with the Cavaliers as much as possible at the start of your franchise, just so that people know that you exist.
Yeah. The way they advertised it was terrible.
It was.
By the way, if you ever saw the promotional video of it. But there's that. We also learned that here in the Midwest, we wine in small doses. And last but not least, we learned that you should not bring your spouse or partner to work unless it's Madison Beers. Right?
I guess so.
Is that her name?
Yeah, that is. She's a musician. I'm surprised that you didn't know her name.
I mean, she doesn't have a lot of popular songs. She has one song, I think, that has like 55 million views on YouTube. But, yeah, whatever.
Okay. Hey, good for him, man.
She's nice to look at.
We
I guess
love
I would take
love.
her to work, too.
You know? Oh, man. All right. That'll do it here on the Real Jonathan Smith Show. Chris is out tomorrow. Jack will be in, filling in for him. He'll do a good job, as he always does. We will pray that there are no technical difficulties with the stream. We already got the Bear, Chris Felicia, joining the show, working on another new guest. We'll see if we can get him on tomorrow or not. But either way, should be a lot of fun. We'll talk Colts, Hall of Fame game, college football, and so much more. Make sure you're tuned in at noon. We will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.